What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to DLF. I am your host today, Justin, and we are talking trade targets. We have Dynasty trade targets, and these guys also double as some guys to be looking at in your redraft leagues. We got 3 names here, 2 to trade for, 1 to ship out and trade away. Let's get into it. First name on the list, it is Diontae Johnson. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Mitch is terrible. Kenny Pickett's probably not good, and the other option's Mason Rudolph. Disgusting, right? The offense sucks. We know that. It is very, very obvious. However, Diontae Johnson is good. He's just a flat-out good wide receiver, and if you listen to me often enough, you hear me say it, trade for talent, deal with situation later. Diontae Johnson is one of the most underrated, most talented wide receivers in the NFL right now. Again, through 2 weeks, small sample size, kind of, but through 2 weeks, Diontae Johnson has 22 targets, and he has a 31.4% target share. Bad players don't earn those type of targets. They just don't. And Diontae Johnson has now done it with Mason Rudolph. He's done it with Big Ben. He's done it with Duck Hodges. He's doing it with Mitch Trubisky, right? We know what he is. We know he is talented. And here's the thing. If you have that much volume, points will come. Especially in PPR leagues, right? I mean, the volume is there. He's making, spectacular ESPN top 10 catches every single week. He just hasn't found the end zone, and he hasn't had his big game yet. It's gonna come. It has to come because, again, you don't get that much volume and do absolutely nothing with it. We just saw essentially the same situation last year where Diontae Johnson was still playing with the quarterback and was still great. So I'm not concerned about what he's done to start the year. I care about the usage. The usage is elite, and it's not going anywhere, right? We worried about George Pickens. We worried about Chase Claypool. It doesn't matter, right? It's the Diontae Johnson show. So with that being said, what should you be giving up? What should you be looking for in a deal that involves Diontae Johnson? Well, if you're talking Dynasty, and I'm going to bring up 2 trades that have actually taken place, so I'm not just making these up. These are trades that have occurred on the DLF Trade Finder app. It is David Montgomery for Diontae Johnson. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger on that, right? I'm a Bears fan. I like David Montgomery. I think he is very good. The Bears offense is bad. David Montgomery is going to be a free agent. I'd like to get rid of running backs on contract years, heading into free agency. Diontae Johnson's a lot safer. I think he's a better talent just in the NFL. And again, that type of production, that type of usage is very difficult to come by, even at the wide receiver position. So if I can flip those 1 for 1, I'm going to take that deal all day long. The next trade on the list, it is Diontae Johnson and 2 2023 second-round picks for J.K. Dobbins and a 2023 first. If you would ask me this in August, I'm probably saying no, right? It's risky. You're giving up a first. And again, they specify it's a late first-round pick, so you're giving up a late first and J.K. Dobbins, who in August looked to be on track to play early in the season. That's not the case right now, right? We've obviously heard the knee injury was much more than just an ACL. It was significantly more severe, which is why they're still easing him along, hoping he's back week 3, week 4. But the long-term effects on J.K. Dobbins is up in the air, right? He's going to lose value heading into year 4 if he's playing a limited season, returning from injury. It's just, there's a lot going on there that I don't love. So if I can get Diontae again, a guy I know is good, is going to have a great career, has had a great career, and then still get 2 2023 seconds, whether they're early, mid, or late, if I can get that deal, I'm going to pull the trigger on it. So now as we jump over to our redraft trade, we got 2 here. One, again, that I actually like, it is just trading David Montgomery for Diontae Johnson in redraft even, right? Again, I want the volume. I want out of the Bears offense, especially in redraft. I care significantly more about situation. Give me the wide receiver over the running back here. The longevity, the drop in injury risk, I think that is something I'm more intrigued by. And then the other deal here, trade A.J. Dillon and a low-end wide receiver, right? Like a Treylon Burks, if you want to upgrade your wide receiver position. You could even do those guys 1 for 1. I think that's fine. I just think you may need a wide receiver sweetener on top, depending on the type of roster. So something to keep in mind as you're looking at Diontae Johnson. Jumping over to our guy to trade away. It is James Robinson. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, James Robinson has been good. He has been better than Travis Etienne from a fantasy perspective. The opportunity is interesting. I don't think it's sustainable, and the efficiency, everything else underlying the touchdown numbers is a little bit terrifying, right? You're looking at a guy with a 5% target share. He's running 27% of routes. He has 4 targets in 2 games. And to top it all off, he does have 3 touchdowns, but underneath that, he is averaging under 4 yards a carry. If you look at his true yards per carry, which discounts, long runs. So what is he doing on a play-to-play basis? He is at 3.4 yards per true yards per carry. So he's just been reliant on big runs, which isn't something I really love for guys coming off of an Achilles injury that aren't already overly athletic. It doesn't feel sustainable. This feels like a window. Your one true chance to trade a running back coming off of an Achilles injury. So if you're looking at trades, a 2023 second. I will take a 2023 second for James Robinson right now. I have no issue with that. I have no concerns about giving up a star running back, as some people still are calling him. I'm just not going to do that. Or I'm not going to worry about that. Give me the second, because Robinson hits free agency this year. It's not a guarantee he's back with the Jags. It's not a guarantee he lands anywhere with this type of role again. Could he? Absolutely. I'd rather take the chance and the risk on the 2023 second than just James Robinson. The next deal here is James Robinson and a 2023 second for a wide receiver like Treylon Burks or Jahan Dotson. I like grabbing those upside wide receivers. Again, give me the youth. Give me the guy that isn't coming off of an Achilles injury, even though, again, he has done well. I'm not fully bought in. I don't think it's 100% safe to say he's back to being James Robinson. Even then, Etienne is the pass-catching back. The role is not enticing. So I'd rather have the upside in the rookie wide receivers if you can get them, right? That's if people are valuing James Robinson to that point with the second tacked onto him. And to close this out, guys, close out on James Robinson, I should say. We do have redraft trades, like I said. DJ Moore. Go flip those two, right? DJ Moore has come out of the gates very slow. Baker Mayfield still sucks. James Robinson's come out hot. I still believe in DJ Moore. I believe in the talent. I believe in his usage. I believe it's going to increase. I'm happy to flip James Robinson if you have running back depth to spare for a guy like DJ Moore. And then our next trade here, it is, again, obviously trading away James Robinson for another wide receiver, either a Drake London or a Garrett Wilson. Again, this depends on team makeup and who rosters who in your leagues, and do they need running backs? Do they have extra wide receivers? All of these things, right? We know how trading and redraft works. But Wilson right now is a guy that was just on waivers in some leagues, not all, but some. Robinson has been rostered everywhere. He is looking like an RB2 to some people. If you can trade him for an up-and-comer, the upside, the potential volume of London or Garrett Wilson, I'm going to pull the trigger on that as well. Again, depends more on team makeup and your specific league, but I love both those deals if you can get them done.
Hey guys, real quick, I just want to let y'all know that this video is sponsored by No House Advantage, who's changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available. Play and pick'em contests for a shot at winning $250,000 or more in just straight up cash. You can download their app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every single day. Bet on up to 5-player prop over-unders or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. You can sign up today with promo code DLF at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app to get an initial deposit match up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but also where you play. You don't want to miss this, so check out the link in the description or go to nohouseadvantage.com, promo code DLF.
And to close us out, we have Brandon Aiyuk. Now, Brandon Aiyuk is significantly more interesting right now, significantly more interesting than he was even Sunday morning. Jimmy G at quarterback is a good thing for Brandon Aiyuk. The team is going to pass more, right? Elijah Mitchell is out on IR. George Kittle is hurt. Deebo Samuel's assuming more role, or a larger role in the backfield. Brandon Aiyuk is setting up to be the de facto number one potentially from a target share standpoint. And I know what you're thinking. In Dynasty, right, the situation is going to change next year. Yes, but I still think Brandon Aiyuk is talented, right? Again, it's the situation versus talent type of thing. This one is interesting because the situation improved. The talent is still there. He was a wide receiver 2 over the back half of 2021. And I think we're about to see that kind of trend continue here. Again, things are set up for him to see 7 to 9 targets a game. And if that's the case, even from Jimmy G, I'm going to take that type of volume, right? As a contender, as a rebuilder, I want Brandon Aiyuk on my roster right now. And again, when you're looking at trades, the trade market has not caught up with Brandon Aiyuk. It just hasn't. A trade that took place Sunday night, and this is insane that it's even real. A mid-2023 second and Sterling Shepard for Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, yeah, take the damn deal. That's an easy trade, right? If you can get that type of steal, Brandon Aiyuk is an easy buy. Another one here that took place on Monday, it is Brandon Aiyuk for James Conner. Now, this is team dependent, right? If you're a win now team, you're not going to give up James Conner, even if he's banged up at the running back position. But if you're going into a rebuild and shipping out James Conner for a guy like Brandon Aiyuk that has wide receiver 2 upside, and if he escapes, if he gets out of San Francisco, he could have wide receiver 1 upside in the right situation. I love that deal. Again, as long as you're rebuilding, that makes a lot of sense. And the last one here, kind of switching over to redraft again. If you could go flip a guy like Chase Edmonds for Brandon Aiyuk, I think that's a great deal. Look at those type of running backs. Because right now, Aiyuk is considered, a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. And I think he's going to greatly outperform that over the next stretch of football here. So get in now before, week 3 comes on and he kind of not necessarily breaks out, but has a more consistent role than we've seen, in week 1 and kind of in the beginning of week 2 there. All right, guys, that is all we have for you. As always, thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. Questions, comments, drop it down below. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.